Honestly, I love black people, man. I love black people.
We're going to be sending out don't worry, it's going to be super short, a really, really short questionnaire.
Something I really enjoy doing as a writer is finding what's in the space.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Artist Archives. My name is Nikki and it's day 8 of Camp NaNoWriMo. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really in the mood to write today, but I did just think of an analogy because I was kind of like, the good thing about Camp NaNoWriMo is that it is making me document this and like make progress and in these projects. And I was just thinking it's kind of a little bit like, you know what they say about marriage, right? Where like your feelings aren't always like super there like they were, but it's commitment that keeps it going. This is how I feel right now. Okay, I feel like it's a really good analogy. um Not that I'm saying being married to your work or anything, but I feel like it's a really good analogy for how I'm feeling right now. Like the feelings of love right now are just not there. I don't want to, but we're not following the feelings and emotions. We're following the commitment we made to vlog and to write and finish these projects. So let's do it. I'm so hungry right now. I'm gonna make some it's a very late lunch. It's like 4 o'clock. Oh, and yes, I am wearing the same jumper as yesterday because I wanted to. It's a fabulous jumper. Don't even try. Don't even try. Look at that. So cute. Like fully turning back. But yeah, so it's the symbol that comes with the word Sankofa. So again, that going back and getting something in order to move forward. So yeah, literally exactly what you said. Um, Brilliant. And then the last image that I wanted to share with everyone, if you can see this, does anyone know what this might be from? I think I would say for African Americans to go back to Ghana, but actually they then said like diaspora in general, like we want you to come back to Ghana and come back and find your roots. And so you actually had thousands and thousands of people traveling back. It looked really amazing, and it's something that if you can look up the website. They're now doing an entire movement called Beyond the Return, and I'm hoping that other countries will do the same thing as well. And the idea is also that it's going to boost tourism to those countries as well. If they can, or if they bring it back. I actually streamed it online, so it was amazing. It was really good. Cool. So I think that brings us to the end of today. We're going to be sending out don't worry, it's going to be super short, a really, really short questionnaire just with how you found the workshop. No, I guess just that it ties in a lot with what we were saying about communicating with people even though you don't speak their language. That's like a huge thing that happens in the play. A lot about heritage, a lot about going back to where you come from and uncovering your roots, a lot about people making fun of you for trying to learn your language. What are you going to pass down, what your legacy is going to be. And I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on the play, so feel free to catch that. It's on Stream Theatre. And then finally, oh my goodness, before you all go, can I take a little picture? Where are my manners? I haven't even told you what the screenplay is about. I am writing my first ever, drumroll please. Let me put this tea down so I can. I am writing my first ever horror screenplay. Never thought I would be saying that ever. If my mum heard that, she'd be like, "You're doing what now?" Um, let me explain. I'm not a big horror movie fan. I love a psychological thriller. So if it's a horror that tips more towards a psychological thriller, I love it. I love it. So you know, like the horrors. I shouldn't say that, but you know the horrors that aren't like terrifying. So like ones like what's the name? What's the name? Misery. Misery. It's a Stephen King, originally a Stephen King novel, but it's a film about a writer who gets trapped by a crazed fan. Stuff like that. It's like horror, but it's more like terrifying in the idea of like, what the heck, you know, a bit creepy. Or I really enjoy Silence of the Lambs, for example, which is a horror, but like it's not the ones that make you think and where there's like a good plot and good characters. And I'm not a fan of supernatural horror at all, but just the ones that like that are like, that's interesting. Anyway, all that to say that this screenplay is like a psychological thriller, but it is a horror. I never thought I'd ever write a horror, ever, ever, ever. I thought it went against everything that I kind of
believe is my purpose in terms of I kind of felt like it went against everything that I believed I was writing for, except that this idea came to me in a dream and it was just so brilliant. And I don't want to say this lightly, but I felt like it might be a God-given idea just because of the way the dream was. I've never really had anything like that where an entire story was just laid out for me. I didn't have to do anything. And I think it's a story with a really important message. And that message needs to be done in a horror way. We need to think about this because it is, yeah, it's important. So I would liken it to that kind of conceptual horror of like The Handmaid's Tale, or it's this very what if. I don't want to say dystopian, but essentially like creating this alternate reality where that is actually not too far at all from where we live. And I'm having a lot of fun building the tension because a lot of the fear element needs to come through little glances, little looks. The performance of the actors, because some of it needs to be how they say and deliver the lines. And it just needs to be in beats and cuts and edits and glances and gasps and just that time. And so there's a lot of like quote unquote silence, but it's not silence because it's filled with all of these facial expressions and all these reactions, really scary moments where the audience clocks onto something just as our character clocks on, and then you realize, oh, this is what's happened, or this is what's happening. So I really like it, and I actually think it's a really important script. And I never thought I would say I was writing a horror, but yeah, it is a horror, and I'm loving writing it. So that's what I've been working on. So I wrote like a couple of extra pages today. Another thing is that it's actually really like easy going in terms of like once I start writing. I mentioned in the vlog before, like it just flows because it's weird. Like I'm going with it. I'm just going, and all the dialogue is coming really easily. And I think, and because I'm having to see it all, it's very visual in my head because it's a screenplay. It's gonna be on screen, so I have to see everything visually, which is a bit different to how I usually write. I don't think I think of everything as visual, but it really helps that there's a very strong location for this, which is a very recognizable location. So it's kind of like easy for me to imagine, oh, okay. Something I really enjoyed doing as a writer is finding what's in the space, which sounds like a very drama actor, theatre girl term, which makes sense. Finding what it's in. So for example, if you're going to set your scene in an office, it sounds so basic, but think about what that location affords you that is unique. So for example, in an office, you might have loads of different people working in different departments. Sometimes they might not know each other, right? You might have office rivalries. You might have phones going off all the time. You might have those little glass dividers. Where are the private areas of the office buildings and where are the public spaces of the office buildings? Who frequents the offices? Where do you get visitors? What's the security like? What is the status? There's a given sort of status that comes with offices, right? Like typically you'll have like your CEO, and then you'll also have people who come in and for example, janitors or cleaners and that kind of thing. And there's usually this very given status, hierarchical thing of an office. If you're going to do a comedy set in a swimming pool, think about the unique things that that space gives you. Whistles, floats, bikinis and swimming trunks, and all the opportunities for clothes to go missing, to belly flop, and maybe kids and maybe adults and maybe dryers, and think about all the kind of problems that could happen. Maybe that swimming pool's connected to a gym. Okay, now what kind of unique spaces and materials are there in a gym? Do you see what I mean? So I'm really obsessed with that. And with this script, I'm having so much fun thinking, okay, how can I really make the most of this location? I'm like, okay, what would be there? And following that down is helping me to actually construct this story, because I'm like, oh, in that room there would be this. Logically, this would happen next, and then this would happen. And so it's really fun. So yeah, so that's what the piece is about. In other news, I finished leading the workshop today, and we praise God, it just went so well. The participants were amazing, and just brought such useful and fruitful discussions, and the time went so quickly. And yeah, it was really brilliant. It was really brilliant. And it's just, honestly, I love Black people, man. I love Black people. Like, we have so much to say, and we are so unique, and we just have so many insights, and so many of our experiences are so similar. And even when they're not, we can still relate on different levels. And it just, yeah, it was just a really precious space to come together and share our experiences and create art and think about our heritages and how we're reconnecting to our roots, and yeah, how our art impacts that and that kind of thing. Yeah, it was really beautiful. So yeah, I think we'll end the vlog there. It's been really nice chatting to you. I feel like it's been a while since I was like about to go up to bed, and I was like, let me just sit down on the sofa with a cup of tea and just have a little chat, and I'm glad I did. So I will see y'all in a vlog shortly. Bye.